This is an after-school program podcast.
Welcome to the Home Studio Hangout podcast, where we explore what it's like building, running, and working out of a home studio with your hosts, Joshua Matotek, Andrew Simmons, and many guests in different areas of the music industry.
And welcome back to the Home Studio Hangout podcast with me, your boy Andrew, and my co-host
Josh,
who we haven't done this in a little while because we've been really busy, and that's what we want to talk about today.
Yeah, we're busy boys now.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think
they're like, hey, let's do this podcast. And then we were talking, we had like plans. Like when we first started this, like we were like planning out content for like the better part of almost 2 years. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden we just got super busy.
Hey, it's not a bad thing really when you think about it. I mean, like From the beginning, it was like, hey, let's document us kind of doing more stuff. And as we get more work and do what we want to do, like ideally we could be able to talk about it on the podcast, right?
Yeah, right. And like I'm totally down to just like hop on these like whenever we have something like super relevant to talk about.
Exactly.
I feel like people get more value out of that kind of stuff than if we were just like coming up with ideas and forcing ourselves to talk about it, you know.
For sure. And there's some topics that like I'll probably still bring on like other people on, and then me and you'll, you know, shoot the crap whenever we have like stuff to talk about and all that kind of stuff. But or if it's a topic that I think me and you can talk about on extensively, you know, but it'll be a little bit more sporadic, I think, because my gosh, have we been busy the last 3 or 4 months? I think the last time we did an episode, we talked about going to Atlanta the first time. And then we did an episode about vocal chains. And that was actually the last episode that we did, was the episode on vocal chains.
That's crazy.
That's a lot. That's been a while. It's been a while. Part of that is me and Josh did another session in Atlanta, which we'll kind of go over. The big chunk I want to talk about, I think, is you, Josh, went to LA with the boys and had some really cool writing sessions and stuff like that. I have been trapped at home with a sick wife and child for the last like month. So yeah, it's really sad. Erin got the flu. She had that for like 2 weeks, and then Micah got sick like directly after. He had
is that the first time he's been sick?
Yeah, it's this bad. He had not strep, like a sinus infection, baby sinus infection. It was real sad. Yeah, like I feel like that's crazy as a parent. It was weird.
Like,
it was
like
weird
the first time your kid gets sick, like I would be panicking.
Yeah, well, what was wild is his cough was so bad. Like it was so like gravelly and raspy, and like for a baby, like that's really weird. He still hasn't gotten his voice completely back. It's really sad sounding whenever he talks now. It just makes me feel really bad. But yeah, so I've been kind of dealing with that. Josh has been traveling all around and then came back. I've been trying my hardest to complete projects. It's December now for those who don't, if you're listening to this in the future or whatever. It's December of 2021. I, in December, try to work less personally, just because not only is everybody kind of not working, but also it's family time. You know, we do a lot of family stuff with, you know, Christmas, and Aaron's brother comes in, so we try to spend time there.
Well, plus now, like, you have a little baby, you gotta like get the Christmas shoot set up. And, like,
exactly, we gotta
do all Christmas card out,
all the family stuff.
Right,
so
this is now like the actual best time of the year for you.
Exactly. So I'm trying to work less this month. So the last 2 months I've been killing myself nonstop, doing as many things as I can, trying to finish all of the projects. I still didn't finish all the projects, but I finished a lot of them, to try and make December easier. But I digress from that. Let's talk about these sessions that we've kind of been able to do, because this has been really cool. We've had some really cool opportunities. I think let's just talk about the opportunities that we've been kind of afforded in general this last couple months. So I'm a little out of focus.
I wasn't expecting that to happen. I was like, oh, he got big.
Yeah. oh, when I zoomed it in a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about some of the projects we've been like had the ability to do recently. So we did that one session in Atlanta the first time. You guys wrote a bunch of songs. I came down for a couple days and we finished up some stuff. And then, so we basically did that again. I think you were there for a week before I even came down.
Yeah, I was there for 10 days. Same with LA.
Yeah, you were the Atlanta one. You had other sessions before the one with me and Justin.
Yeah.
And then who was that with?
That was with Rowan.
That was with Rowan. Okay.
We've been talking for a while to like get together, and I was like, honestly, like you should probably just come through to Atlanta. And so he booked a flight, staying with a family friend, and yeah, we did it out. Got a couple cool songs. We almost shopped one of them actually, and then that didn't work out. But that would have been really cool.
Yeah, but you got some in the bank for him, and he's got some in the bank. You know, that's dope. Did you do that with Lee?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I couldn't remember if you did that with Lee or if you posted up somewhere.
No, yeah, we just did that with Lee. We worked with him for I think 2 full days. Or no, we worked with him for 3 full days. The first day was weird because I drove down, so like I get there in time to like pick him up from the airport. I'm delirious because I've been driving through the night.
Mm-hmm.
Because for some reason that makes the most sense to me. So I'm like losing it. And then we go to the studio because Lee was there and I was staying with Lee, and he had a session drummer there doing a session for another artist that he works with.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like sitting there like going in and out of sleep, and I remember at one point I was like, yo, this song is trash. And then I took a nap and I woke up and I was like, yo, this song is incredible. Like I was so cranky that like my mood changed and like my music taste changed with it. Like it was silly. And then yeah, we did those sessions, and then we worked with Justin, and that was dope.
Yeah, and we wrote some cool. I think we wrote some cool songs.
Yeah, those are like 2 like the most like I don't even know how to like put it. Like those are like the 2 most like outlandish songs for him that I think we've done. Cause
yeah,
I like, you know, we always wanted to do like pop stuff, but it never like really seemed to work. And then finally we were like, whatever, let's just go for it.
Yeah, those are really cool songs. They're very, very the one that we finished first, I think, was really, really good.
My favorite is the second one.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, they're both really great. I think they'll shop well, so that's exciting. So yeah, we spent, you know, it was kind of a similar thing. We did it without Rob this time. It was just me and you and Justin and Lee. Went pretty smooth. I think we got a lot done. You know, I think in like 5 days we finished 2 songs. I want to say that that's right.
Yeah.
That sounds right. 4 to 5 days we finished about 2 songs, because I feel like one of those was a half day.
I don't know. I can't remember. It's all a blur.
It's a blur.
It's all just a blur.
But that's pretty good productivity, I think, on our end.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't too bad at all. I'm like really weird about like processes. And so like I prefer to like write, and then once I'm done writing, I want to write the next song and like keep going with that. And I don't think that's really how like everybody else works.
No, it kind of seems like they want to get the fully fleshed out idea At least like to the point that we're hitting roadblocks. Like if we're still feeling the song, we're still like getting ideas for it and stuff, like keep moving on the song until we've basically exhausted that, and then we'll come back to it later. Whereas you're like, all right, we're done writing this one, move on to the next one, and then we'll produce it out later. But I think they're trying to get like, I just think their end goal is a little different from yours in that scenario.
Yeah, I feel like Lee likes working the same way I do, so I'm not entirely sure why we still do it the other way. But whatever, we get results, so I can't.
Yeah. I mean, can't complain. The songs are dope. Yeah, I think, and that's the other thing is like we're still kind of learning each other's processes. You know what I mean? Like we're still kind of learning how everybody works in that group dynamic. Yeah, I thought those were pretty great. And then I think you guys went. When was it? It was like 2 or 3 weeks later when you guys left, right?
Yeah, it was like 3 weeks, I think. Or like
I think
2.5 weeks, or it was
So,
something.
Bro, let's talk through that because that's kind of I wanted that to be more of the main focus. Like the other one's really, really cool. I think we got some great songs out of it. The I think they'll shop well. Pretty proud of them personally, but you guys got some cool opportunities to go out to LA. It was you, Justin, and Lee, and then you met up with. You stayed at Jayden's place. You can kind of talk through all that and kind of give the broad.
We had like sessions lined up for like every day, and then half of them fell through. But that's just because like we were trying to work with writers who have like publishing deals, and so realistically, like if you're going to be working with a newer artist who like. My computer's unplugged. Sorry. Let me plug this in.
Good job.
I was like, why is my computer like? All right, everything's fine.
There you go.
Okay.
So,
when
you're working with a newer artist.
When you're working with the new artist, like it's cool, and like a lot of these guys were like just happy to work with somebody new, and not have that pressure of like, oh, we need a hit, and so. What happened with them is it was very much like, okay, well, my manager just called and like this bigger artist is coming through and I need to do this session because I'm on a publishing deal and
gotta get paid.
Yeah, like gotta get that money. So
yeah,
like no hard feelings.
No.
Of course it's a bummer because like you go all the way out there and you're like, yeah, let's work, and it doesn't always work out like that, which is totally fine, but. It's something that like it's just another moment for me to like kind of take a step back and like get used to the idea that like you don't always have to be working.
Yeah. Well, or the idea that keeping your like going out there with a very big plan, like trying to have writing sessions every day, knowing that some of them are probably going to cancel is a good thing.
Yeah. Just
so that you don't go out there with only 3 sessions lined up.
Yeah, and then timing was kind of beat though because I was there for 3 days longer than the other guys, and
after I believe, right?
Yeah, and then like the A&R I was trying to work with, or trying to meet up with, they had been super busy that week that we were there, so they were able to meet me on Monday, and then Monday they were like. Yeah, like, what's your schedule like for the rest of the week? Because I'd like to start getting you into sessions. And that was just music to my ears because I'm like, yeah, like, let's write. And I was like, wait a second. Tomorrow's my last full day here. So I'm going back next month again so I could do more sessions, which is
gonna make it
cool.
happen.
Yeah, I mean, like, you just kind of got to go for it. I don't know, like, how I'm even going to afford it, but I'm going to make it happen, Like,
yeah, dude.
It's like I'm 24. Like I'm not about to just like sit around and like watch opportunities pass me up. So
no, I mean, and you got this is a big opportunity with this specific publishing house or A&R with the A&R, because they do a lot of stuff in the genre that you're looking to break into finally.
Yeah, and they're also just like massive in general. So
Yeah,
and,
but
and plus
like,
on top of that, like they're like a really nice team from my understanding. Like
mhm.
just working because like you
Well,
kind of get into that groove
you
of
even told
like
me that the A&R was like super nice and cordial with you and willing to work with you with your schedule and
yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I think most of that just comes from the fact that like she heard my music before, you know?
Hmm. That helps when you got that
Yeah,
portfolio speaking for you. It definitely
yeah.
helps.
Because she heard that song that we wrote with Rowan, and
Hmm.
she wanted to shop it, and I don't know why. I don't know why or how things changed, but that's just wasn't a thing anymore.
Probably got shut
So
down from somebody above her or something.
it's either that or like I just don't know.
Yeah,
So
you never know.
she really liked what I did on that song, and so like that kind of like it made it easier to just be like, hey, like you heard my music, why don't we grab coffee?
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
so like that was really dope. Just the fact that like somebody wants to like like help is really cool. But also like she's very much on board with like like she wants to hear like even the earliest ideas, because
Hmm.
like I was sitting there for weeks getting songs together and like perfectly producing them and perfectly tracking them, perfectly tuning my vocals and like trying to mix them to the best of my ability. And like she's like, yeah, if you have a voice note, just send it over to me. I was like, what?
That's weird.
Yeah, it is a little weird, but it's dope. Like we're kind of at the same point in our career, like we both
Hmm.
kind of found our beginning, and we're actually the same age. We're both 24. So like I feel like there's just like that hunger and like that eagerness that comes
Hmm.
along with like being new to the industry and like finally getting a place to stand.
For
So
sure.
it's really
And
dope.
you're both trying to plant that like flag of like, this is me in the industry and like begin your climb up. She's trying to like bring in a good producer that's going to make the label, you know, some hits, and you're trying to get the opportunity to write those types of songs with the artists that you want to write.
hmm
So
Yeah, so like I'm excited for it, and like it's one of those things where like even if you don't see anything from it now, like you never know what might change down the road,
for
you
sure.
know. And so it's just really dope because like that was kind of the highlight for me, um, because I wasn't expecting someone to just like drop what they're doing on a Monday morning and like come hang out and talk for an hour. So
Hmm.
that was
That's
really
dope.
dope. And then yeah, so I want to go back out there and like get some sessions on the books and do that whole
Sick.
thing. And
And
then
then you had a couple of your sessions with you had a session with Bluey finally.
yeah, that was sick.
Um, talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so he found Justin on TikTok and was like, "Yo, we need to work." And so we hit him up and told him like, "Hey, we'll be out there this week. So if you could like bank time, that would be sick." So he invites us out. Really dope spot. Like he got this dope place right on Sunset, and we uh we just kind of like dug into it, and it was really a cool moment for me because like I came up on like grunge and metal and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So like immediately like he pulls out a guitar and like he just starts making this really cool like kind of like grungy guitar riff, and I was like, all right, this is sick. And by the time he even had the beat done, like me and Justin like already had like half the song, and then we
That's I
got
was
sick of
gonna say.
that.
So what was the well, if you had to like go through some process stuff that you learned from that as far as production, watching him produce out a beat or a track.
um like well, hip hop's also different, you know what I mean? like like what works in hip hop doesn't really work everywhere else. Like if you're working on like a massive pop song, like you can't just like pick up a guitar and like play the first things that come to mind and then like run with it, because like a grunge inspired like beat isn't gonna make it onto anything
Hmm.
like majorly pop. But for like hip hop, it's very much just going with your gut instinct. His process was really similar to mine, which was really cool, really validating
I'm about
too.
to say that's super validating.
Yeah, well, it's just like whenever I bought that Lewis Bell course, and I was just like, oh, so he does what I do, but he just does it better, you know.
Yeah.
So
and
yeah,
he
it's
just
basically
has
that.
more experience doing it at that high of a level.
Yeah, yeah, and so it was all pretty straightforward. Like it was like there was no pressure, you know. Uh, he chimed in whenever he knew that an idea would make the song, and then like I just kind of like tried to follow suit and just stick to what I'm best at, which is top lining.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really dope. It's also great like being with a super fast producer like that because you just like I don't have to worry about anything else. Like
Yeah, you can
like,
just hit the top line.
Yeah, like I just get to sit there and I listen to the song, and then by the time he's done building that section, I can lay down the idea, and then we move on. It's really easy. So yeah, it was dope. We had a good time. Super nice guy.
Yeah, sounds like it was a pretty good experience for everybody as far as like the song that you did was pretty cool, and just having him on your repertoire of people that you've been able to work with and can cite as somebody that you wrote a track with is dope.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, it was just dope talking to him about like how he got started and like where he came from. Like he grew up playing in in hardcore bands, so like immediately everybody was like, oh yeah, same here.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
like,
literally everyone was like, oh yeah, dope, me too.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of funny like how much of like hip hop and pop music is just a bunch of X scene kids. But
bro,
yeah,
I had
cool
that thought
dude.
the other day, is that I have like the majority of that weird like mid-tier music industry where it's like you're a much bigger deal than you are in the metal or scene world, but like only by a little bit, right? Like that underground hip hop world or the producer world where you're getting like a couple cuts a year, but you're not like the big name. A lot of those people are like were in bands or like did Warped Tour or were the guitarist for some random band that you had like a one song that you might remember.
Mm-hmm.
It's really weird.
Yeah, I mean that's even how it is for Nick, like being on tour with a band like Girlfriends. It's like those guys have been around for so long that like everybody's been tied up in something else. I think I want to say like their guitarist or maybe their bass player was like touring with Paramore.
That's funny.
Yeah, like it's just things like that where it's just kind of weird. Because you really don't expect it. And yeah, it was just really dope. He was super great to work with, and he was just great to hang out with.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's cool. And like, being able to be chill and hang and not like freak out and be like, oh my gosh, you're the dude that wrote these Post Malone songs. Ah.
Yeah, well, I mean, we also brought up Handle of Bullets, so that helped. But yeah, it was just like, I don't know, man. Like, I never really got like starstruck whenever I was younger, because like I wanted to be in a band, and once I started meeting people, like I was just like, oh yeah, they're all just people, Like,
For
oh,
sure.
they're just like me. So like that kind of stuff, it's no big deal. Like I feel like I could run into a Kardashian and purposely call them the wrong name. You know what I mean? Just to like make it a little extra human,
Yeah.
I was joking about that with somebody because they're working an event that the Kardashians are going to be at this weekend. So that's been on my mind a lot because I feel like that's like the epitome of my humor. Like imagine walking up to like Courtney and being like, "It's so nice to meet you, Kylie."
Didn't that happen on Dave?
Yo, it might have.
I think that happened on Dave where he's at the party at Bieber's house and Benny Blanco's there and I think Courtney is the Kardashian that's there and he like calls her by the wrong name or something. I don't remember. I feel like that happened in that show.
Yo, if it did, he needs to like quote it identically.
He should.
It would be even funnier if it was different. If it was
a different Kardashian.
Yeah, just to like I don't know. I find things like that really funny. Like
that
the idea
would be
of
hilarious.
like because like I don't know, people like put people on a pedestal over like the dumbest things in my opinion. Like
fame.
What?
Literally the dumbest reason to put people on a pedestal because they're famous.
Yeah, like I just don't really understand it. Like just because somebody like produced a song that you like really adore and you admire, like doesn't mean that like they're different than you.
It means
like same with the artists. Like
yeah.
like look at how people treat artists. Like chasing them down in the street and shoving phones in their face and like not letting them enjoy their nice night out, like
Mm-hmm.
like things like that just like really boggle my mind, because it's like, yo, like they're just a human. Like you wouldn't do that to anybody else. So like, why are you doing it to them? And I feel like in the audio community, like we kind of do the same thing with these people that we look up to, like Josh Goodwin is like
Yeah.
the king to me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like you can't beat his mixes. So like, but like if I met Josh Goodwin, I wouldn't be like freaking out because like he's just a dude.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's certain like, superstars where it would definitely be weird. Like imagine just like hanging out with Justin Bieber,
Yeah.
It's just weird because
it's just like a surreal experience.
Because you see him on stage, you see him on interviews, you see him on the gram. Like you Wow, I just said the gram. Ooh.
The gram. Oh. Hey, I could tell you came back from LA recently, my guy.
No, I don't think I heard anybody say the gram.
I know.
While I was in LA.
They probably throw rocks at you.
God, dude, I hope. So like you know what I mean? Like you see these people all the time, but they have no clue who you are. So I feel like those kind of things are weird because it's like I watched you grow up in the public eye. Like I remember whenever you peed in a mop bucket at a McDonald's or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
I got arrested for like street racing in the middle of the night in some cul-de-sac or some dumb crap like that.
And now you lead Sunday service with Kanye. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of weird in that sense where it's like, yeah, like we watch you like be in the public eye and like now I have to like figure out like who you are whenever like other people aren't around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like we have to like be chill and not be weird in this very like, weird scenario.
Yeah, like I feel like that kind of stuff is like weird.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But that's a different kind of weird than like freaking out and chasing people through the street.
Yeah,
that's like you're being weird in that scenario. In the scenario we're talking about, it's like the weirdness is just happening to you.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're just in the midst of some people. I mean, that happened to you with some other people, it's like it's not even that like, oh yeah, with like and Jaden and all of them, it's like it's not even weird.
We can't talk about that.
But I'm just saying, like,
no, you got to cut this whole section off because like you don't understand. Like their fans are like next level. They will track down any information about him. They will track down any picture. Like, just cut it out. I was told very specifically to not tag him and to not take pictures of him or talk about him afterwards. Like that was my warning before I entered the house. So you got to cut all that out.
That's wild.
Yeah, no, like yeah, it's just weird because like they're just people.
Yeah,
and like that happened to me, and it was just like it wasn't anything like as crazy as like being invited to like Justin Bieber's house, but like it was very like
it's still like, a surreal experience to just like walk into a place and be like, this is just a strange thing happening in my life right now, and being very aware of that.
Like to put it into perspective, I was sitting in the car because like we were on our way there and we had to stop off at the gas station, so like three of us ran inside and then it was just me and Lee sitting in the car, and I remember looking at him and being like, is it strange that I'm very anxious about going here? And he looked at me and he said, no, because I'm very anxious too. I was like, do you feel like this is either going to be like extremely awkward or just a little awkward and nothing in between, and like nothing better than that? And he was like, yep, absolutely. And that's us talking about going to this person's house before we get there. And then we ended up having like the best time in the world.
So it was extremely better than you could have ever
imagined.
It
was so much better, but like, it was just like, I don't know. Like, I just don't understand like the hype behind it. Like I would never freak out or like fangirl or like ask for a picture. Like people are just weird,
Yeah.
Cause like they're just people.
They're just people.
Well,
dude, I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a really good time. Had the best Indian food of my life. Had the best chorizo tacos of my life. God, that Indian food. I came back here because like I never had butter chicken before. Like I've had tiki masala a few times, and so I came back and I found a place that does butter chicken like right down the street, and I got it, and it was just like
not the same.
Nope. Mm-mm. Like I'm really about to fly all the way to LA just to get some butter chicken and then come back. It was so good. So that's something I'm gonna have to try when I'm in Atlanta next week because
Indian food.
yeah, I gotta sniff out the best butter chicken in Atlanta.
Yeah, they got some dope Indian places in Atlanta, or like in the surrounding area. I don't know about like near Tucker or anything, but
that's fine because we're gonna be out and about.
Yeah,
all
dude.
the time. I'm barely gonna be working while I'm down there, which is gonna be cool for once.
You're gonna what?
I'm barely even gonna be working while we're down there.
Oh, really?
Maddie and I got this sick Airbnb.
Ooh.
Like I think it's like North Druid Hills area.
It's a nice area.
It's like in between where the studio is and then where downtown is. That way, like I don't have to drive far for either the show or
you're like
gonna work
10, 15 minutes from either. It's a good spot to be in.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. So I'm excited to go back down there and like hang out with everybody, and then you know, of course, Maddie gets to go with me, and like because like she's never been to Atlanta, so she's excited to like explore and eat Korean barbecue because there's only one place here that does it, but it's extremely expensive.
But it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So I'm very excited to do all that with her, and
she'll love that Korean barbecue place, dude. It's so good.
Yeah. Plus, like I feel like she's gonna love everybody too.
Yeah, like, I feel like she'll get along with everybody really well.
Yeah, I'm excited. So
heck yeah, dude. Well, I'm glad all that's worked out. We've been a busy couple boys. I have a couple interviews lined up. I know Lee said that he wants to come back and talk about outboard gear and some other random stuff.
Outboard gear sucks.
He wants to talk about outboard gear choices, which will be, I think that'll be a cool thing to do.
Yeah, I was going to ask him about doing it today until I got that text, and I was like, oh, he busy.
Yeah, he like real busy. It's like end of the year stuff. Or like start of the year for next year stuff. But yeah, no, he texted me the other day and talked about coming on and chatting about that, and I got to call him anyway. I haven't talked to him in like a couple weeks. And then I got my buddy Mike is going to come on. Me and him are going to talk about drums and building drums because he builds his own stuff, and we're going to talk about tracking, and he does a lot of pop punk stuff in New York. And he worked on a Shawn Mendes record, and
that's sick.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. So we're going to talk about doing some stuff like that and working with Shawn Mendes and working with the Lumineers and working in New York as an assistant engineer.
Do you remember whenever like Lumineer, like that genre was like
Hey Ho Core
big thing? Yeah, Hey Ho Core. Dude, I read this whole thing. Like, there's like the person who like owned the radio stations that were playing those songs constantly had like stock in like something, and like it was like this. There's like a conspiracy theory about the takeover of watered down butt rock, but happy. Like it's actually crazy, dude. Like you should look into it because it got the wheels turning in my head, and then I was like, these wheels are turning way too fast as is. I gotta stop. But every time someone mentions like the Lumineers or like Imagine Dragons, I just think about the crazy thread I read about it, and now I want to like. It might be actually. It's the only conspiracy theory I subscribe to, and whenever I find out it's fake, I'll go back to being a flat earther.
All right, dude. I think right there, that's a great place to call it. Perfect ending to a great episode. Josh, thanks for coming and hanging out, talking to us about your fun little experience going to LA and writing with some people and learning some stuff along the way.
No problem.
Let's do it again next week, or at least soon.
Yeah, sometime soon.
All right.
Are you coming down to Atlanta for Kegsmas?
Hopefully.
All right. Well, if you're there, we'll hang out.
Yeah.
We'll eat butter chicken.
Wink, wink. Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming to listen. See you.
Bye.